Hi everyone, this is Grace of GB Maltese, and I hope you are doing finer than frogs here. I wanted to show you this gorgeous piece I'm working on. Look at this. This is from Captured by Radiance, and this is a square. I wanted you to see how perfectly these squares fit together. I've got my light pad on so you can see there's nothing showing through. Just shine, a lot of shine. They do use resin drills and they are gorgeous. I'm going to tell you, this is the one I'm working on. She's gorgeous. It's by Rose Profit. And exciting news about Captured by Radiance. They've got a fabulous sale going on everything in the store. Everything. I'm not sure how long the sale will last. You really need to get, if you're not part of their Facebook group, you need to be. I'll put a link down there because that's where they're going to tell you when they have sales. 40%. I mean, not 10, 20, 30, but 40% off of everything. The only thing that is not on sale are the custom-made diamond painting pins. The diamond painting pins that are already made are 40% off, but they're selling a lot of those quick. I just purchased 2 diamond paintings and a diamond painting pin the other day. I think they're supposed to come in this Friday. I can't wait. So go check it out. You can't beat that price, especially for their quality. But yeah, they are selling out of things. But some more exciting news, they're going to be having some new ones coming in. I'm not sure the exact date, but they have some new ones that will be coming in stock. Go check out what they have now and get a good deal. I mean, a really good deal. Now, if you spend $85 worth, and this is after the sale price, so if you put your things into your cart, and once you put in it tells you at the top of the page what the code is. I'll link it down below because now my brain just went blank. I don't remember if it's Fall Saving 24, but I'll put it down below. So you can put that into the code section to save your 40%. So get something really nice, because everything I've ever gotten from them has been perfect. No problems whatsoever. If you have a problem, all you have to do is contact them and they are going to help you out. So again, I'll put that code down below. I'll link their Facebook page. Now, Captured by Radiance is owned by 2 sisters. They both have full-time jobs. So yeah, they're doing this in their spare time. They don't have anyone hired to help them pack things up or any of those types of things. So let's show them some love. We need to show them some love because they have some awesome diamond paintings with great prices, and they've got more coming in stock. So I would really love to see them get a lot more business than what they've had. When you've got someone who has a good product, we need to tell other people about it. Like I said, I don't know if I've said this or not, but I have been getting from them for years. I love their stuff. In fact, this pen I'm using right now is from Captured by Radiance. I put my own tips on. The tips are from Everlasting Tips. They are the... Now, a lot of people don't know this, but these everlasting tips, she was the one who came up with the whole idea of having stainless steel tips. So if you're buying from other places, you're buying the copycat version. You're buying someone who has actually stolen their idea. But theirs is the best. I've tried others. I love these the most. I'll put a link to their shop on Etsy. So I have a lot of their tips. My favorite single placer is the rounded tip. And my favorite, they have multi-placers. I have one that is just straight, but my favorites are the bent tip. But I don't have one on this pen. I do have one on this pen. I love the bent tip because you can see what you're doing much easier, especially if you're a beginner. To me, it just is a lot easier to use. I don't multi-place a lot. I prefer to single place. I think it just looks neater. You don't see gaps in, and if I do multi-place, I always use a smaller one, like a 3 or 4 placer. I don't get the biggest one I can find because basically I am not in a race to finish my diamond paintings. This is supposed to be a relaxing hobby. So that's what I do. If you enjoy racing with people, then yeah, get you one of those big ones and just don't worry about the big gaps that you might have. It's just whatever makes you happy. There is no right or wrong way to do this hobby. And don't let anyone tell you that there is, because there's not. You do it the way that makes you the happiest. Well, I did not do a video last week. Last week was, I tell you what, last week I was on edge. I just put a new glue, I use glue dots, and I just put a fresh one in. So when it gets really sticky and sticks too much, it won't let go of my drill, I rub it on my hand. Especially after I've had my lotion, I have lotion on, but I rub my lotion in real good. So my hands aren't really, they're not greasy. So that's how I get it to where it's not as sticky. When you first put it in there, it's kind of sticky. You want it to be sticky, but you want it to let go too. So just rub it on your hand. Some people rub it on their jeans, but to me, I just can rub it on the back of my hand or on my leg or wherever, just to get a little bit of the stickiness, and then it will get to where you don't have to do that at all. Okay, going on about last week. If you watch my channel a lot, then you know that my grandson Isaac, he's my adopted grandson, he and his wife are having a baby. The due date is October 20th. Well, last week, now there's no baby yet, but boy did we have a scare last week. That's one reason I did not make a video. Isaac came over here on, not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before. He wanted to go fish with my husband one last time before the baby was going to get here. So he came that morning and he was going to leave that afternoon. So they went and did their fishing. He got here about 6 in the morning and they went off and fished. Then he went, when he got home, because they live probably an hour and a half away from us, depending on the traffic. So when he got home, Ari, his wife, had one swollen foot. The other one, she said she usually wakes up with her feet swollen, so she elevates them, and she'd been elevating them for hours. And her foot was not just swollen, it was red. and the red was spreading. She got to where she couldn't even walk on her foot. The pain was so bad. So Isaac let me know they were going to the hospital, and I'm like, I'm praying. It really worried me. I looked things up. I'll tell you what, when you Google things, be careful what you see. But normally they say if only one side is swollen, one foot or leg, it's usually a blood clot, and that they did check her for that. He told me they did a sonogram on it, and there were no blood clots. I'm like, thank the Lord. But the red was still spreading. So they had an infectious disease doctor come in. I'm not sure. I think it's probably the next day. They started her on some antibiotics, but she was still running a fever. Her foot was still swollen and red. Wasn't getting any better. The infectious disease doctor, they run their tests. I'd asked her, do you think something bit you? And she said, I didn't feel anything. So we don't know what it was. But the infectious disease doctor also started her on another antibiotic. She finally got to go home on Thursday last week. So that hadn't even been a week ago that she had gotten out of the hospital. And at the time, they were thinking they might have to induce her if the infection started to affect the baby. Thank God it did not. The baby is doing just fine. He's thriving and doing well. But they kept saying, we might have to induce you, we might need to induce you. But they have decided they are going to induce her at 1 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning. Okay, so, poor thing, she ain't gonna get any sleep. Well, maybe, it just depends on how quickly the induction starts, how quickly she starts going into labor. She goes to the doctor today to find out how far she's dilated. Last week, it was just a 1. So I hope it's gone a little further. So that would be the 14th, early in the morning. So it's not quite a week before her due date. But I'm not sure if she's just having a lot of swelling that they've decided to do this. But her mom is going to get to come since they do know the date they're going to induce. So her mom lives in California. We're in Texas. Because Ari's lived her whole life in California. She met Isaac when he was in the Marines. And they fell in love, got married, and they came back here. Because this is where he's from. Well, he's actually from Honduras. I met him when I was teaching ESL in school, and he was my student, and we went through a lot of things together, and yeah, we're family now. Not just like family, we are family. So her mom is coming Saturday, I believe, so she'll get to be with her a little bit before she is induced. I'm going to my sister who lives south of Houston, so she's going to go with me to the hospital. We're just going to wait till probably to get there at 6 in the morning. The hospital doors will open at 6 in the morning to be there. I looked up on, because I was induced when I had my sweet Catherine, and it takes a long time. It takes a long time to have the baby. My water had already broken, so I was already dilated, maybe 3 centimeters or more. So I finally had Catherine at midnight that night. I got to the hospital about 8:30, And Catherine went into stress. My whole stomach was shaking around. So 5 minutes after midnight, I had to have, she was delivered by C-section. I could not have her. They told me I was not big enough to have a 9-pound, 1-ounce baby. I think, oh my gosh, yeah. So, depending on how far she has dilated, depends on how long it's going to take. It was kind of scary reading that when you're dilated, it could take 2 to 3 days. I'm like, okay, come on now. So I am praying that it's not going to be that. They say normally it is 12 hours. Just depends. Just depends on how the baby is in position. I don't know if he has dropped yet, but he is facing down, so he's in the right position. So you probably won't hear from me at all next week, just like you didn't last week. I had my phone by me all the time last week. I had gone, my doctor had her appointment with a cardiologist, went with her there. Tomorrow I have my appointment with my doctor to find out my test results and get lab work done for my yearly exam. I'm just so excited. Yeah, I love it. So I'll find those results. I should find out the bone density results. I already know the mammogram and the Cologuard results. Those were both negative. No problems. I was so happy. But I don't know the results for the bone density, and they have never put it into my patient portal. I thought, oh, come on. I want to know now. But I guess I'll find out tomorrow. I hope she's looked at it before now. You just never know when you go to the doctor anymore, do you? But poor Ari, yeah, she was in the hospital she got there Sunday afternoon. They finally put her in a room sometime that night. And she didn't get to go home till Thursday afternoon. And she had to go straight to her doctor's appointment, her OBGYN, to get checked. So, yeah, it's been just crazy. I've been waiting to hear results from everybody, everything. And then, my husband and daughter, they go hiking. They go on long, it's a hike, because they like to go 12, 13, 14 miles when they go. So that's a hike, it's not a walk. Yeah, they ask if I want to go, and I'm like, are you crazy? I said, what are you going to do? Drag me out when I can't keep up with you? But they went with their walking group. Some Saturdays they go with them if they're going on a hike that's closer to where we live. I mean, even if it's 60 or 70 miles away, they would still go. Because normally they will drive that far, 70, 80 miles, because, you know, they are out, they are explorers. That's all I can call it. And they've got to check out all these new places. I told them, I said, you know, if something happened to y'all and you didn't show back up, I wouldn't even know where to tell them to look for you. Because they never know when they leave the house where they're going to go. They don't have the slightest idea. And they may tell me one place they're going, but they end up going somewhere else. So there's no use even asking at that point, if you know what I mean. Well, last Saturday, they went for their hike. And I think they went about 12 miles. So a short hike for them. And some of the places where they go hiking, there are a lot of roots and sticks and things that are on the trail to trip over. So tripping would be like my second language. That would not be a good thing for me to do, especially as fast as they go, because they believe that they have a need for speed. Me, no, I do not. So this past Saturday, Jerry, my husband, was walking faster than he should have been, because he wants everyone to think, what great shape he's in. So he fell 2 different times because he'll be walking and a stick will hit into his shoe or his ankle or whatever, and then he trips and falls over. Well, he fell so hard and he caught himself with his hands, and when he did, of course, he jarred himself really bad. So I had to listen to him talk about how much his back hurt and his shoulders. And I told him, I said, that's what you get for showing off. And I had to throw this in there. I said, you do know pride cometh before a fall. I couldn't help it because, he fell. Not just once, but twice. Because there's another guy that's kind of ahead of him, and he wants to catch up. So, yeah, I couldn't help it. Sometimes my mouth just doesn't want to shut up. But it was kind of funny. I thought it was. And I just told him, I said, you need to go out there and walk to enjoy yourself. You don't have to race everybody. So, yeah, he's been complaining about his neck again and his shoulder blades. I said, well, when you fall, you jar your whole body. I said, you're not 20 any longer. We're not 30. We're not, we have gone way beyond that stage. I said, tripping is not our friend at this age. So you need to be careful. And he agreed with me, because I don't want to see him get hurt. But I can just see me walking with them. Right. Going 12 miles while they're walking, 4 miles an hour. No, thank you, please. I do not want to do that. So, they're going somewhere this Saturday. I don't know where. But I'm going to go and stay with my sister I'll stay as long as Isaac needs me. Isaac and Ari need me for the baby. As I said, her mom will be there also. I think she's going to leave next Thursday. So if they think they need me at the house for a little bit, their apartment, I will go. Help them out. Judy and I have decided we're going to cook some food and take it over there so they don't have to worry about cooking. And Judy's not close to their apartment at all. It's a long ways. Houston is just, the Houston area is huge. Just huge. And the traffic makes it even worse. Depending on the time of day it is and the day of the week, it can make it a lot worse. But we want to have them food made so they're not having to worry about that. Just some things that are easy to heat up real quick. And I bought a whole bunch of snacks to take up to the hospital, and some they can take home. So if they want something just to nibble on. Who doesn't need snacks? So it's exciting. I'm just hoping and I am praying that Ari is not going to have to be in labor for a long time, and that the birth will be safe the baby will be, both she and the baby will be healthy and happy and just in the best health always. So of course, I'm excited thinking about all these things. And yes, I've sent books and different things for the baby. It's exciting because this will be my first grandchild. I mean, considering they tell me, he calls me grandma and he calls my husband grandpa. It's just fun. So it's exciting. I don't know. I'm on the other end now. I gave birth once. Now I'm going to be there for the birth of a sweet baby. I was there when I was there for 2 of my nieces and 1 of my nephews. Then I had Catherine. So when my sister had her first baby, I stayed with her to help her at the house for a few days. And when Daryl's wife had her first baby, that's his first wife, I stayed with them to help her out. Oh my goodness, that sweet Darlissa. She had colic for months. I just remember holding her all the time. That baby cried and cried and cried, her poor tummy. But my mom had told us that Daryl was that way when he was little. She said she thought he would never get over it. So I stayed, and I remember driving home from watching the baby. I was slapping myself in the face. I mean hard. Slapping myself to stay awake driving home because I lived about an hour away. I don't live close to any of them, so I'm sitting there slapping my face. And then when my brother Greg's first wife had their daughter, I went and stayed with them, and you know, I would do whatever needed to be done, whatever they needed me to do, let them have a chance to take a nap or whatever, change diapers, whatever they wanted me to do, I did. So when Catherine came along, my mom came and helped me because both my mom and dad are gone now, and I miss them tremendously, but they lived right next door. They're, you know, about 100 yards away. And my mom was there. I had a cesarean with Catherine, and I couldn't pick her up and carry her around. She was too heavy for those first few days. I could hardly get out of bed. The pain was incredible. And I tried not to take any more pain medicine than I had to. But those first few days, yeah. But I was they kept me in the hospital for 5 days, I believe. Back then, they kept you longer. And I remember driving back home. The hospital was an hour from my house. I remember holding a pillow against my stomach. I was holding it, had my seatbelt around the pillow, just holding that stomach against my incision. Well, nowadays, they have a band that they can wear to keep them together. Man, I wish they'd had something like that. Back in that day, I think that would have helped so much. I didn't even know they had something like that now, but my niece, one of my nieces had to have, well, 2 actually. One had a cesarean, but she was able to give natural birth the next time. She had eclampsia, so yeah, they had to get him out quick. And then my other niece, she was having difficulties having the baby, and then something else went wrong and she lost a whole lot of blood, and in fact she had to get a unit of blood before she could go home. But she was the one who told me. She said, if Ari has a cesarean, make sure they send her home with one of those belts. I forget what it's called. One of you people might know. I don't know. It's I mean, I know, but I can't think of it. If it's not a word that I use a lot, sometimes I will forget what it is. I just know that it kind of is a stretchy elastic type thing that will hold you in. Maybe I could get one of those to wear all the time. Hold me in. But anyway, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to all of the excitement. Of course, I'm kind of nervous for Ari and the baby, that everything goes well. I know Isaac is getting quite nervous. Ari told me he is. And he will be scared for his wife and the baby that everything goes right. He's such a good guy. And Ari is the sweetest young lady. They're both sweethearts. I mean, they're kids to me. I mean, they're 24, but they're still kids to me. Well, just like my daughter. She's in her 30s. She's still my baby. And that will be forever. So, that's that. And I'm sure most of you feel that way. I mean, all my nieces and nephews, they're kids. It will be for the rest of their life, or for as long as I'm alive. They're going to be my kids. When you're there, when they were little, they're going to always be your kids. Because I'm still old enough to call them. So listen, you're my kid. Don't tell me any different. Doesn't matter what you think. I don't say it to themselves, to their faces, of course. I mean, you don't go around saying, "Hey, kid." But in your mind, they are. And the pollen around here, that's why you hear me kind of sniveling. The pollen has been awful, really awful. But I have Florida in my thoughts and prayers. Hurricane Milton is on its way. They've already had damage from the other hurricane. What's weird, my daddy's name was Milton. And I'm like, wow, that is amazing. That a storm of the century has the name of my daddy. My daddy was kind of like a hurricane in a way. He was tough to deal with, but he also had a heart of gold. He would give you the shirt off of his back. But he was very, very strict. Overly strict and overly protective. But that's a way a lot, I guess, were back in the day. And I just try not to talk about it. And I mean, I love both my parents. My mama was, to me, she was like an angel sent from heaven. Everyone loved her. Gosh, I miss her. I still talk to her when I have a question. I'll say, "Mama, what do you think?" And, oh, come on, get off of there. I wish I had known how to crochet and do other things when she was still alive. I would have crocheted her shawls and hats, sweaters, you name it. She'd have had it. And when Catherine was a baby, I would have had her a baby blanket. Of course, all of my great nieces and nephews, I have made Then there's special blankets. Of course, my grandson has one. I showed a picture of that one, I think in my last video, or maybe it was a couple of weeks ago. I don't remember. Time just seems to fly. And I cannot believe that the baby will be here soon. It's life is just a wonder. It's just a wonder. We have a beautiful world, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see. I remember when Catherine was born, because all I ever seen, you know, are the pictures of her on a sonogram, in black and white. So when she was born in the flesh, in color, it was like, oh my gosh, she was inside me. It was such a miracle, a wonder. Just, I don't know, how could you not believe that there's a God in heaven? And I just don't understand when you see such a miracle as that. Just so perfect. I mean, I do know that not every baby is going to be perfect. I lost, well, my nephew's wife gave birth to a baby that died 7 hours later. So yes, I do know that there is pain, and not all of them make it. But I do know that they are taken into God's heaven, into heaven to be with Jesus. They are innocents. And she also lost a baby at 5 months. So, yeah. My mom lost her first baby. He was a breech birth and got tangled up in the umbilical cord. I remember my mom telling me that they would not let her see the baby. A long time went past, and she said, I knew there was something wrong because they would not let me see my baby. And I kept asking. And they finally had to tell her. And it was she had to wait 7 years before she got pregnant again. So I know that that was hard on her. But my mom, like I said, my mom, she'd been through a lot, but she was just the best. The very best. Anyway, I've talked and not even really sure what all I've said at this point. But don't forget about that 40% off sale at Captured by Radiance. I'll put that information down below. Go check it out. Guys, I love you. And if you have stayed with me till the end of this, if you could put something to do with a baby, whether it's a baby's face or a rattle, a little emoji that has to do with the baby, even if it's just, if you don't have a baby emoji, put a heart or something, or even praying hands that everything goes well for this. I'm excited. But I do have some cross-stitch kits that I want to show you. So I'm going to try to get that done in the next couple of days so that I can put them up for you guys to see. Love you so much. You have no idea. Those of you who watch and comment, you make my day. You really and truly do. When I'm having a rough day, I can go back and read it, and boy, does it make me smile. Gives me just a warm feeling inside. Anyway, you guys take care. I love you. God bless you. And you have a wonderful morning, evening, night, afternoon, whatever it is. Love ya. Enjoy everything about your life. Bye.